In a previous video, I talked about how I see people and they complain, they come and see me with some sort of complaint with whether it be hip pain, back pain, or something with their pelvic floor. And I said that before we start to even look at movement and go deeper into that, we had to start with the feet and your foot posture, because a lot of people dump in their heels. And then I basically gave you an exercise of how to create support from the ground up. My name is Dr. Jocelyn Conley. I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, and in this video, I'm gonna take that concept a little bit further and introduce you to the concept of weight shifting so that you can start to apply that as you move to become more aware of how you're using your body so that you can ultimately change in an optimal way, the way that you move so that you don't have your pain, or that you can function without pain and continue to strengthen your body. If you haven't watched that first video, I will link that in the description. Be sure to check that out. So no matter what we're doing in life, whether it's walking forward or if it's like transitioning into the car or into bed, we have to transfer our weight from side to side, from one leg to the other. So there's a little bit of sway. And a lot of times people, we're just lazy. I'm sorry I can't put it any more simple, but our brain wants to preserve or conserve energy. And so the work goes into our joints instead of our muscles. So the first thing I have people do is I have them bring their feet like hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider, and I have them shift their weight side to side. Now, belly button and head should stay together. And I basically ask them, well, first I'm going too quickly. I ask them, where do they feel the force going through their body? Do they feel it in the inside of their legs? Do they feel it on the outside? What muscles do they feel working? And a lot of times this is a new concept, so they're not aware of it. So we have to take this further. And I'm like, move slower. Do you feel it here? But this is what I want you to start with. Just start swaying and take notice of whatever. And don't judge it. Just describe it. It doesn't have to be very scientific. And from there, start to go a little bit further where you lift up the heel on one leg, and then maybe that can help give you a little bit more awareness. If you're feeling it in your inner thigh or in your hip joint, like here, then we start to say, okay, that gives me some information. So basically, when you shift your weight over onto one leg, I want it to be balanced, but usually a lot of people are not connected with their hip stabilizers. So I'll say, okay, I want you to feel this in the outside of your hip or your butt region. So sometimes it's really helpful if you squeeze your glute on that side as you begin to shift your weight. And oftentimes I will have, in the drill that I'm going to recommend from this video, I want you to just focus on one side. So don't go back and forth like this. Just go from this leg back to the starting position and then repeat. Because we also have the leg that's pushing off. Ideally, we can add intention behind the movement so that I'm using a particular strategy not only on the leg that's accepting my weight, but also the pushing off leg. So when we take it further, I'm like, okay, let's see if you can make this through your glute on the pushing off leg. Not only through your glute, but also your calf or one or the other. So it's not in your back. Once we do that for about a minute or 2 minutes on one side, then we do it on the other side. And this is one of the very first things that we can do to start building awareness so that we can then take it further into a bigger, fuller movement. My recommendation is to just try this and then work on this. Do 15 on one side, 15 on the other side, and keep your feet flat. Then get off your heels by just like elevating a little bit, but keeping your heels in contact with the ground, and repeat that and see how that shifts the work. And then do another set or 2 sets in that way. In the next video or a future video, I'm gonna cover how to take this even further. But in this video, we just covered the basics of weight shifting, which is one of the most important things about building a movement pattern that is supported by your muscles rather than just your joints. If you have any questions, please comment below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. And before I forget, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you're notified every time a new video is dropped.